This is Intake, this is Project Z, and if you watch this episode twice, we'll have twice as many views. Previously on Intake. All we wanted to do was wash the car and we were like a wombat stuck down his burrow in a flood. Pretty much fucked. But that's the way it goes here on Intake. Before we start today's episode, I want you to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, the little bell thing lets you guys know when we upload new content. And it saves you having to send me an email personally and say, "Hey Steven, when are you going to update some new content?" Like, that tells you. It's fantastic. Comment below, witty banter. Maybe you want to comment now before watching the episode and I can respond back, "Why don't you watch the episode first?" But anyway, today we're going to give the inside of the car a clean because last time we did eventually clean the outside. I put mud all through the inside. I don't know how that happened. If you're playing a lot at home, if you've got a coupe, 2 beers, one for each side. Like the passenger side from the dash back to the hatch, 1 beer. The driver's side, dash, back to the hatch, a 2nd beer, but you don't necessarily have to do it in that order. You might want to do the dash first, then the seats, the footwells, then that. I'm gonna start by vacuuming, so let's not fuck spiders as always, let's just vacuum. So like any car that comes back from the panel shop, this one's entirely filthy. We've got panel shop dust everywhere, we've got some dandruff from your mum in here, we've got some spooge and whatnot from when we had the window tint removed. We can draw a deck here if we really wanted to. Dust in general, the place is a pigsty. So what we're going to do today is just really clean it up. That first clean from coming home from a panel shop, take out all the shit in here and it is quite a mess, and tidy up some bits and pieces, a bit of housekeeping from after the panel shop, and I'll have to explain that as we go. But not every person who works on cars knows how to work on every car, as you'll see shortly. So what we're going to do first of all is vacuum. We've done this before. We remove the mats, vacuum the mats, vacuum underneath the seats. You can take these seats out and whatever. We probably will have to take this seat out because we've lost one of the clips from here underneath there. Dude, I can't be expected to be funny 24/7. I just want to fucking clean my car. So with the target tops on this car, we're going to remove them because it makes it a bit easier to get in. Oh shit, there's a little mess in there too, isn't it? It should come up higher than that, surely. Just, you can get in to clean things a bit easier. Plus, like, if you remove the roof, you just look cooler while you're cleaning anyway. Oh my god, that guy's just cleaning his car, but he looks so cool because he's got no roof. So the first thing we're going to do to begin is remove everything from the car that we can. So that includes the cushion with your mum's dandruff on there. On both seats, the floor mats. We'll remove the blind from the back. Any desire to quit while we're ahead, because something bad is bound to happen. Oh, come on, get out. I sort of need to like install some spacers under these seat rails just to lift the seat up a little bit. And it's not the seat, it's the actual rail. It's a little bit too low. I'm sort of regretting, if I take this out, this is going to be hard to put back in. Okay, and that's how you fuck that mat, just right off out of there. It's very filthy. Still one of the best thing about these cars, those mats, they're so cool. So not everyone that works at a panel shop knows exactly everything about the car, and sometimes you have little mishaps where clips aren't installed or removed the right way and they might break, but they're easy enough to repair. But it pays to go over your car properly. Hot tip of the day, go over your car when getting it back from anywhere, especially if they're taking apart door trims and things that you can't necessarily buy easy again. This one's easy enough to repair, and what we'll do is just be able to check the rest of it to make sure that the rest of the clips and bits and pieces are fine too. Just a good thing to do while you're cleaning the inside of your car, especially if you've just had it taken apart. But I can get to little bits of edging and stuff like that to clean those a bit better with this off anyway, so I think it's worth doing. If you don't want to do it, skip this step. It's like a hidden screw. Whoop. I think I just dropped the screw into the door. That's okay. I'm sure I can sort that out. It's one of those nights where I'll just be going straight to sleep again. Arm's too tired to do anything fun. Oh, and there's the culprit. So what you do is you just pop him back in and then hope he doesn't pop back out again. And then we've got to repair it. So I've got a tube of silicone here, which I can just put on a little bit. Don't need to use too much, clearly, and you can just fuck that right off. While we're cleaning the car, that'll dry, and then once we're finished, it'll be all ready for reinstallation. And as we know, installation is the reverse of removal, so all we have to do is play that footage that we've just taken backwards, and it'll be back in the car. So you might have noticed that, this piece of metal, this bracket, fell off before, and that's because I reckon there's meant to be a screw there. In fact, it's got the marks of where a washer should have been. So we've just found another screw that fits the hole, placed it back in, and now it's held in there like it should be, ready for that piece of trim to go in. This goes back in there. We're sort of at that point where we haven't cleaned the car at all, even though this is a car cleaning episode. I need to get to the trim underneath those seats, but I only need to undo like 2 bolts. I'm really hoping we find some treasure under here. Treasure being the little cap that goes on the centre vent at the top of the dash there. I'm sort of hoping the seats will go back in like they're supposed to as well. Like, that's always seemed to be an issue for us. It's a good thing I've got heaps of stamina in the wrist. Hang on, hang on. That's not exactly the piece I expected to find. I've already got one of those up there. We'll just take the seat out. These ones are going to be easy because these back ones are only nuts. I've forgotten about that. There's 2 of these nuts. These nuts. Love that. It's so funny. Never gets old. If anyone tries to tell me otherwise, they're wrong. Well, another plus about having the target top out is that you can remove the seat a lot easier, and we should be able to find our missing piece of trim. No trim, but I have found a comic book. Oh my... What? Who keeps borrowing this car? It's beyond a joke now, people with their senses of humour. The hardest part with any job is the preparation, and because we're doing a proper clean, we're really getting rid of all the filth, quite literally with that magazine. Taking out the seats and things like that, which does add a bit of time to your job, I think really makes it worthwhile. But as you all know, added time to any job is added beer quantities. So we can turn this job from a 2 beer into a 3 beer job. And just like that, we've fucked off seat number 2 very carefully because they're expensive and there is shit underneath. Oh! Found what I was looking for. Oh, just dropped it again. What's this for? It's my own secret purchases, don't you worry about that. And the last thing we're going to remove is just the blind. If anyone wants to send me another one of these, that'd be greatly appreciated. Hopefully by the time this episode goes to air, I will already be the proud owner of said piece. Now I've learnt from my mistakes in the past, and I'm not going to use the vacuum while I've got the seat bolts in the car. I'll take those out, put them somewhere safe on my seat, and just like that, we're ready take out this last piece too. And just like that, I think it's time I had a beer. So when you're going to clean your most intimate parts, they are the parts that only the most trusted of people are allowed to come inside of. You want to start by giving it a good sucking, vacuuming. Vacuum. Well, after a quick but thorough cleansing, this area already looks more inviting to a potential mate that you might have for a ride along in your car. It might sound a little bit rude, however this space is anything but dirty. Onto the driver's side. As we all know, the driver's side is the lather, rinse and repeat of what we've already performed on the passenger side. And if you didn't know that, then you must be new here. Welcome. Fuck, dude, if you can't do the camera and turn the vacuum on, what are you even doing here? Thank you! And if they're removable, always remember to clean your flaps. Shouldn't there be one on either side? I'm finding little bits of tint everywhere. But that's how you fuck them right off. So now that the car has become so clean already, it doesn't matter if we wipe from back to front. And we're going to use our AutoGlim vinyl and rubber care to assist with that wiping motion. How's my hair look? Oh, I thought as much. So we're going to start on the hatch area on the plastics using our, it's got an on and off switch on a, who would have thought it? On a clean microfiber. And just go over everything that's plastic in the back, which is near enough everything on a fairly modern car, isn't it? You know what? I've got something for these stains too. Also in the AutoGlim range. Ow. This one. Tell you what, like everything else that they make, this stuff smells fucking amazing. Smells like opulence. Word of the day. Opulence. I'll get the brush actually. I've got a little brush for tight areas. For when your big rag doesn't go into the tight area. Just a little brush that'll do it for you. But I'll use that rag, that cloth, if you will. Really just to get in there. It's going to be like a brand new car when I'm done with it. If anyone wants to purchase a brand new 300ZX, this is pretty much like that. So before I get to this window section here, I'll just finish the rest of the plastic area and I'll do the window up here because I don't want to have to run back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because I can only do that for about 33 seconds and I'll run out of steam. And then I'll fall asleep. Ooh, message. It's a comment on our What is a Car Build episode on YouTube. This is YouTube, I didn't have to say on YouTube. Anyway, this one comes from John Hartshorn, who says this channel, that's intake, is like finding a willing slam pig as the lights go on at 3 AM. Thanks, John. I'll be your slam pig anytime. 3 AM when the lights go on and that's what all you've got. Sometimes you'll just take it anyway, won't you? And just like that, the back end is like a brand new... like a brand new car. So before I move on from the hatch, I'm just going to use the AutoGlim Fast Glass. Clean cloth. And that'll take off any of that shit from that's remaining from when we took the window tint off. This is a really awkward position. This stuff is so good. I use this stuff inside. This fast glass. It is dead set the best glass cleaning sheet. Makes such a big difference. Clean cloth is a must. It has made such a big difference that I can still see the bits of window grime that we've left on there from the tinting episode, the de-tinting episode. Ready for the blind to go back in to be able to clean it. Now there is a flaw here. What we're going to do is give just the back side of it a bit of a wipe. It's a good thing it was empty that time. I'm just going to get rid of it. When the 300ZX was designed, Nissan had their finest men on creating the body and their finest computers on creating how the engine would fit inside of the engine bay, because no man could possibly design something that stupid. So Nissan had their finest first year apprentice of engineering and design on the job. Ryu Takahashi designed this blind to never be able to be cleaned because it would either be latched up in the air or the hatch would be closed and you'd have to lean in from the front. So, handy tip, little bit of tape on the latches to your tail lights. You have to do both sides because the retracting unit, yes, he did design that with some strength. Just like that. It's like this tape isn't strong enough. It's like it's being taped already. We'll fuck that tape right off. We'll get another piece. I need some gaffer tape. All right, just like that. All right. Let's see. Obviously, Ryu Takahashi has died and his ghost is here to be vengeful because I'm making fun of these design elements. Listen, mate, there's a fundamental issue here at play. So now that I've secured my blind into position, it's right to be cleaned. And of course, because I used a bit of foresight, I left my cloths in the centre underneath. So I'm going to have to be working blind to retrieve them. That is the one I need. So a little bit of rubbing alcohol will remove this, the remnants of the old tape. Really would appreciate it if anyone's got one of those. It's like the other half's up here. I'm going to try and glue it back together. It wasn't really big before. That was a joke. Not everything on television's real. Looks lovely. What the fuck? Hot tip. That sort of just sits there. Well done, Ryu Takahashi. It seems that I was wrong about his first year apprentice skills. Genius. There's a lot of shit in here though. Might have to vacuum again. If you ever want to look like a professional while cleaning the inside of your car, always use a little brush. People come past and always go, geez, that guy obviously knows what he's doing. He's not using a cloth, he's using a little brush. Who uses little brushes? Only professionals. Oh, just about dropped it. In a professional manner. Just make sure you always give that little tight area at the top of the opening a bit of a rub too, and it'll always come nice and clean. And I've just got the window to do on that side and it's looking pretty good. Bit of fast glass on my cloth there so I'm not getting it onto my interior plastics. I'll tell you what, I'm becoming more and more a fan of the lack of window tinter. I think it really brightens a car up. There's something really therapeutic about just sitting in your car, giving it a good clean. seeing everything that's wrong with it, what's broken and crap. This one's actually in really good condition. Now, if you want to see what Project Z looked like when we first got it, don't forget to check out episode 1 of Project Z. If you're new to the channel, you might want to check out 1 through to this episode in order, and we'll put that playlist just up here on the top. Before I move over to the passenger side, I'm going to do the door trim, then I'll do the passenger side, then I'll do the dash and center console. Once I've got the seats in and I can sit down and be comfortable and pretend I look really cool in my 300ZX with the roof off. Currently, I'm a little bit low and I'm sitting on a bolt. Oh, jeez. A little bit of a tip I learnt. If you wind your window down while you're cleaning the door trim, you won't get shit all over your glass. Little brush, vents. Use the brush on the window switches as well and in the little pocket. So just while I'm cleaning the driver's side door, I need to thank Lee Stevens from Lethal Sounds, who provided me with a new locking mechanism to be able to lock this door because I couldn't do it with the key from the outside. So for the first time in 12 months, I can lock my door. Thanks, Lee. That's the most exciting thing to come out of Adelaide since the F1 left. Just to finish up the driver's side door, we'll use our Auto Glim Fast Glass. Give it a thorough once over. Tell you what, results like this is what makes me want to stay away from the tint. I'm just going to do the outside of this window. It got a little bit dirty since the last time we gave the car a clean. That looks incredible. I'm glad we fucked that dirt right off. Passenger side is lather, rinse and repeat, but you guys already knew that. I'm just going to dive right in. As our repaired piece is sort of dry enough to go in, give it a bit of a gentle push, just like that, and she's ready to be bolted back into position. There's a screw that goes in from the back. The seatbelt bolt is what really holds it into position properly. I need a rattle gun. So I don't have a rattle gun, but did anyone have a lug all at home? Like last week when I pulled my car out of the dirt? No one's got one of those. You're all telling me not to get a rattle gun. Now that everything in the car but the dash is clean, we're ready to clean the seats up, put those back in, put the mats back in, then we can sit down in the car nice and comfortably and clean the dash and the console and the cluster and the windscreen, and then we're done. Many JDM car otaku often fantasise about it, but I've got my own mail order Japanese bride. I'm going to put the warranty sticker into the glove box and the seat back into the car. Not scratching the paint. And like any good bride, you want to mount her securely and she's ready for the nuts. And bolts. So now that our seats are reinstalled and nice and clean, we're ready to install our already vacuumed JDM Fairlady floor mats. If these mats were any more JDM, they'd be tatamis. Ah, shit. Got that problem again. Find the little clip. That's one of the best features of this car. Love those mats. And now we're ready to move on to the F16 like cockpit. No, that's the Supra that's sort of designed after that. Let's do the dash. So first we're going to use our vinyl and rubber care to wipe down all the dash and the center console, but we're not going to use our rubber care on the knob. You don't use rubber on the knob, that's not safe. There's a joke about knobs and rubber. Anyway, so we've got some other Auto Glim products that we're going to use on our leather pieces, and that is pretty much our leather care products, our leather conditioner and cleaner, and that'll keep these nice and clean and also not slippery. But first, let's do the dash. Quick tip for the day, spray into the cloth rather than onto the dash because that'll stop you from getting all the overspray onto the windscreen. I've just realised how short I am and I can't reach too far from my seated position. Also, I have gauges. This is a boost gauge and this is an oil pressure gauge. This one is not ready to be wired up yet, and that is a future episode coming, so don't think you've missed out. However, I have put my boost gauge in, it is ready to go. So I do have the boost gauge installed. we will do this on another episode. So let's get wiping down everything. Just want it to look nice. You get a nice car, looks nice. Get the chicks. Your wife tells off the chicks. You get divorced. You lose half your shit. All because you got a nice car. Using my little paintbrush to get into the little displays there on the side. Do need to do a stereo install in this and stuff. Just want a radio. I bought this one. Did work. Did get my money back, however. Like, stop with dodgy wiring, because there's one thing I don't do: dodgy wiring. I wired it up, got the sound out of it for about 30 seconds, and then it stopped. The chip inside of it fried. Doesn't work. Every other function of it still works, except for the sound output. The thing about 300 ZX is you've got to be really gentle when cleaning these pods, because they're shit. That must have been Ryu Takahashi designing these again. Very brittle. Just put your flaps down to give them a bit of a clean with your small brush. Get in there nice and tight. Wipe it down with a rag afterwards. Oh, fucking hell. I'll tell you what, this is gonna look amazing. Whew! Oh, fuck. Now I've just pre-squirted all over the shop. I got this gauge pod from the UK, and the fitment's fucking awesome. Actually, you remove the standard one, it just pulls out. They're all broken anyway. It comes with this little grommet you stick in where one of the normal clips would go, and then you just put a screw through there. It is spot on. Dead set, recommend that. I'll put a link below to where you can find that. And this guy, he didn't give it to me for nothing or anything like that. I just dead set think it is such a good product that if you're going to install gauges and you don't want to go on the center of the dash, this one's probably the one to get. And I think he does them for both sides because he custom makes them. You place the order and they make it. Bit of fast glass up here on the mirror. This mirror has never been cleaned since I had the car, like 12 months. And now that I can see myself, I wish it still wasn't clean. Using the Auto Gleam leather cleaner, we're going to clean all the knobs in the car, as well as the boots. Basically the leather parts. Oh, this is a real dirty knob. Actually, I think this is the first time I've ever cleaned a knob in the car. And of course, we'll do the steering wheel as well. Now, last step on the leather parts is just a bit of Auto Gleam leather conditioner. We've already cleaned the leather. Let's make it stay nice and soft, not going hard and brittle, especially since we don't have that window tint anymore to sort of protect us from the UVs, the rays of UV. Sounds like a UV ray, like a Captain Planet bad guy, innit? By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet. I'll stop you, UV ray. We've already polished the knob. Fucking hell, that looks near new. The T-top. A little bit of that vinyl care. Just on the shade there. And then we'll do the other one. And that brings us to the end of another episode of Intake. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed cleaning it. Even if it was half as much, I know we've done a good job of making an episode. Don't forget to hit the like button if you did enjoy it. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell because that lets you know when we upload videos. And comment below. I want to know what products you use to clean the inside of your car. If anyone says Armour All, I'll kill you. And also comment what your favourite animal is. Mine is dogs. I like my little dog. What kind of dog is it? It's a Japanese chin. Why? Because I'm JDM as fuck.